We are.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, we are live on all platforms. Welcome, everybody. I see the participants coming on in. So glad you're here, you guys. Let us know how you're doing. Give us a little shout out where you're coming in from. If you have a little bit of a success story to share with us from your week, be sure to chat in. We like to take a look at those as we go here. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. And we will get started.
Yes.
So team tone up. We're in week 7 really quick. We have our disclaimer. Yep. FDA has not evaluated what we're going to be talking about. Please consult a health provider, and you can expect to lose about 1 to 2 pounds per week. Just a big shout out to all of our teams that are participating here in our TLS Team Tone Up Challenge. There's a lot of you, and we're so excited that you've decided to join us. And the teams that reported in this week are here. They are on the screen, and we have some team leaders up in the highlighted section who are making some waves with their pound and inch loss here. Healthy Maniacs, Team Last Laugh. I like that. Hudson Valley Hardcores.
Yes.
Right, we got the Bahama Mamas, Fabulously Fit Team. I'm not sure how we say this. I'm guessing it's Hawaiian. I'd love to know what it means. So if anybody's on that team that's on, let us know what that means. And then take a look at our numbers here, you guys. 1,710 pounds. Doug, can you believe it?
That's crazy.
Sarah, it is crazy.
Amazing.
Sarah, 1,437 inches gone from these wonderful peeps taking our Team Tone Up Challenge. We're so excited.
We are so excited. We're just saying that next week you will see that the inches will be maybe catching up to the pound. That means we're losing fat, everybody. We are going on the right track. So this is so amazing. Congratulations, team. You're working hard. We know the 6 week mark was when people were like, I might be falling off track, but looking at you guys just going right there, building up the momentum. So congratulations.
Absolutely. Fantastic work, everybody. As you know, on Monday nights, we're going through our 12-week health guide and journal. And so you can download this for free. If you're brand new to TLS, maybe you just joined a team. We did just hit our recent deadline. So we do know that there's some new people joining us this week. And you can download this for free on tlsslim.com with the person who invited you here to join with us, and take the profile, which is a couple minute survey. What happens at the end of it is you got this one-stop shop. You can download the free recipe booklet for your plan, the free menu plan and program details, and the free 12-week health guide and journal. And it maybe looks a little longer and intimidating than it is, but only a couple pages per chapter. And then we have some tracking sheets and some journaling to help you get through your journey. And so, oh shoot, did I edit the wrong? Did I bring up the wrong slide? Hold on one second. I might have brought up next week's. Hold on. Give me a second here. I did. Look at that. All right, let me try this again.
We want you to believe in yourself continuously while we're talking about today's topic. And we were just talking, today is actually one of my favorite topics, because we really truly believe that once you have your habit, if you have those habits set in, you will have sustainable weight loss, right? Reason why people lose gain is because they don't build that habit. And that's what makes TLS so unique, is that we're all about habit forming, and creating healthy habits is where we're at. And I'm so excited we get to talk about that today.
One of my healthy habits is pre-preparing, but it bit me in the butt here. So I have the right PowerPoint. So let me go ahead and start us off by introducing our awesome guest. She comes from Massachusetts, and she's a nutrimetrics consultant working with health professionals all over the United States, helping them implement preventative measures and incredible products, including our TLS program. And she is a certified TLS weight loss coach. She is a mom of 3, Ella, Brody, and Duke. She is an entrepreneur. She truly is one of those ladies who's always on the move. She's always got irons in in the fire. She's either in a speaking competition, or she's, starting a new thing, or she's just an incredible individual who's incredibly busy. And one of the reasons that I definitely wanted her on for this week was because she's been so good at maintaining that TLS lifestyle, despite having everything that she's got going on in her life. So thank you for joining us, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. Thanks for inviting me, Melanie Sozan. And Doug, you'll get to meet him in a moment. Great friend of mine as well. And my first class I ever taught was in 2007. And I really loved that they just put a curriculum in my hands and I just had to flip the pages. That made so much sense to me. And I didn't think that I needed TLS. I said, I'm fine. I'm petite. You can't tell because we all look the same size on a screen, right here. But at 5'1.5", I've never really taken up much space. And so I said, I need to understand what we go through. And I did it the first time with my first class, and I dropped a pant size. Now I'm petite, I'm little, and I always was little, and I've never gone back to that pant size again. Even after, 3 pregnancies, my reset point, and I was young also. I was at that time, my first class, I was maybe like 21, 22 years old. And I started this business when I was 20. So it really helped me as a young adult make some lifelong habits, I can truly say. And I just go back to my curriculum every time. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Glad to hear that. And I mean, not only just the pant size too, but I mean, I think for so many people who maybe didn't do this to lose weight, it's that energy, it's the, it's so many different
things. My skin looks better, and I didn't lose any weight. That's the amazing thing. That happens to a lot of people. Just literally the pants fit different. It's great.
Losing fat. Maintaining those muscles, which is exactly what TLS is all about.
Composition.
Yes,
that's right.
shifting the body composition.
That's actually a really important point, Sarah, that the scale didn't move, but your pant size did.
Yes.
So that is so crucial, I think, for everybody here in week 7. Where the scale is sometimes slowing down for people, and it can be a little frustrating if you're used to dieting and seeing those pounds drop. But when you're doing it the healthy way, that's actually not uncommon. So I hope everybody heard that. And next up, Suzanne, you want to do the honors?
Sure. So do we have here a gentleman against 3 women here? Strong gentleman. So here we have Doug Casal, and Doug is a health and wellness coach. He's also a certified weight loss coach. He's a high school basketball and soccer official. He's an avid golfer, because we know when you ever want to find him, you can find him at the golf for his golfing game. He's a former baseball, basketball, soccer coach, and he's passionate about living a healthy lifestyle and helping others live a healthy lifestyle. And Doug, you are in so many, you're doing so many things, but you still maintain your healthy lifestyle, which we won't talk about, which is amazing. When you and your wife were traveling, you definitely need to provide those tips to let people know that TLS works even when you travel, basically.
Yeah, thank you for that great introduction. And Sarah, it's always great. We're so far apart, yet we're usually close together. Talk about vacationing. One year I went down to see Sarah for a nutrimetrics training while I was on vacation down in Orlando. It was about 4 years ago. But unlike Sarah, I did start TLS to lose weight. I was working for a chiropractic office that was introducing TLS. And I'm like, you know what? I like this. This is all about eating and eating healthy. My whole adult life, I had been heavy, very active. I've always been an athlete, a coach, and all of that, but I had always been heavy, had extra pounds on at all times. I started the TLS program back in 2015 in October. After about 30 days, believe it or not, this is unusual, but I lost 30 pounds in about 30 days. I had it to lose, but I was strict right on everything. And it changed my life forever. Kathy, my wife, Kathy's jumped on with me now, and you'll see when we post all types of different things. And passionate is really what it is, because it is truly a lifestyle we have adapted. And it's not, you know, a couple of weeks here and there. It's every day, every meal. It's a conscious decision what we do, and we really embrace it because we love the way it makes us feel. It's not about the weight anymore. It's about how you feel, how you look. And honest to God, my body feels it if I don't give myself those vegetables during the day.
Ain't that the truth?
Right on.
That's awesome. I love that, Doug. And definitely some astounding results there, you know, that I would say are atypical.
Yes, 30 days, 30 pounds.
But everybody is a little different. So Sarah is going to start us off with some great tips here. Sarah, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, thank you so much. So the first tip is being a mom of three. Does anyone, you've heard that expression called mom brain, and we have a lot of things in our health and nutrition line to help with that. And people talk a lot about batch cooking, batch prep, but my tip is actually a little bit different in batch thinking. I don't love to think more than once about the same topic. So I call it batch thinking. If I am going to plan out what I'm going to eat, I'm not just going to plan it for the next day or the next meal. I'm just going to sit down and plan the whole week out. And I typically will do this on Sundays or Mondays. I pull out all my favorite recipe guidebooks. I've made notes about my favorite TLS recipes or other ones I've picked up throughout the years. And I kind of eat the same thing all the time. I have kids, my kids, although they love to eat things like cucumbers and hummus and nuts and fruits and all sorts of vegetables, pretty much all three of my kids on any given dinner night will have a salad with us. They love that. That's unusual, but they're just as picky as your kids. Those happen to be their favorite foods. I'm going to tie that into another healthy habit in a second. But I really do just try to think of everything at once. What do I need to buy? What do I need to make? What am I going to eat? Which leads me into my second tip of outsourcing. So I try to think of who can do as much that's on that to-do list as possible. Now, this started really small for me. When I started with TLS, and I don't know about everyone here who's now, you know, we're in week 7 with you here together. You've done this now for a few weeks and you're like, that's a lot of chopping and prepping and things that I need to do. Am I right? Am I right? I always used to say, if I could just get someone to chop up my vegetables for me. And then it occurred to me that I could just pay a little bit more money to have a lot of the vegetables already chopped up for me. So the first thing is like, let's just start with the butternut squash that's already chopped up. That sounds like a great thing. That's a great use of 20 minutes of my time. That's maybe going to cost me an extra $1.50. I don't know, $2. Like I will absolutely like pay the grocery store to peel it, to scoop out the seeds, to put it all together so I can roast it. I can top it on salads, put it, you know, in a bowl, put it on top of a little bit of quinoa, something like that. And then it's going to snowball from there to say, could I a couple times a month, maybe just try to plan around going on to Instacart and going on to some of these, like going shop.com groceries. We're about to get thousands more groceries. Can I do some of that planning instead of me going to the grocery store and schlepping up and down the aisles and putting it in my car? No way. If someone else can do that, I call that outsourcing. And that's really important. My time is very important. What's next, Melanie, on my list here? Oh, my healthy non-negotiables. I have certain things that you will not find me without a water bottle. You will not find me, you just won't find me. The other day I was with some friends and they didn't plan for lunch, and that happens sometimes. It was something that took a little bit longer. It was an all-day affair. It was a business I was at. They were doing a photo shoot that day and some other marketing things, and they didn't plan. And one of the women just said, how about we just order Domino's pizza? And I was like, no way. Like there's just certain things that are just non-negotiable for me. and it doesn't mean I'm never going to eat pizza, but I'm not going to do it in that moment. Like there's certain things I'm just not going to do. There's other things around like movement for me. Like I'm going to move my body in some way every single day. That's just like a non-negotiable. You're not going to find me reaching for a soda, pop, whatever you call it. In Massachusetts, we call them sodas. Not going to find me doing that. So there's just, it's just, that's a non-negotiable. I think I learned this because I have 3 kids. It's like jumping on the couch. That's a non-negotiable. I don't care what you say. Someone's going to get hurt. We're not going to do it. I'm not going to drink soda. Someone's going to get hurt. I'm not going to do it. There's just certain things for me that are off the table. Make those rules for yourself in your life and live by them. And that's something I've really learned from TLS. Accountability is so big. And it doesn't have to always be formal. That's the other thing that I found. It can be something as simple as being a part of a Facebook group, being part of a big challenge like this, just being somewhere. But that level of accountability, even just telling someone, setting that intention for what you're going to do. And I've needed more and less accountability throughout the years. And I also find when you show up, and when you show up to the same kind of places, whether it's the same restaurants, find a healthy salad place in your neighborhood, start to get to know them. When these things become familiar to you, maybe the gym, or if you're not going to join the gym, is there going to be a route that you're going to walk or jog or work out in, somewhere where people can see you, become visible in your healthy lifestyle? I'm been away on vacation for a couple of weeks, and I got a message from one of the trainers at my gym, and she said, "Did you leave the gym?" And I was like, "No, we've just been going to a different location." People will ask about it, and that will keep you on track. And I know even for me, my kids notice, and they're your best. Your family will be your best buddies of accountability if you tell them what you want to do. And my last tip is one of my favorites, and one of the things that people don't think about that much. But my mission when I joined Nutrimetrics, which is our health professional division that incorporates TLS, and when I learned about TLS and I learned about the power of not just changing us and changing our makeup, but knowing that the way that evolution works is that if I change the way my body is expressing itself, using food for fuel, using the muscle that I put on, building upon these healthy habits, the next generation is more likely to actually have the genes that support that kind of lifestyle. And we can change things. We can change things from generation to generation very easily. And one thing that Dr. Mason, Dr. Deidre Mason, who's Vice President of Product and Development and the Director of Nutrimetrics and loves TLS, and as a practitioner ran TLS for years and years out of her clinics, she always says that people say to her, "Well, Dr. Mason, obesity, it just runs in my family." To which she says, nobody runs in your family.
Yeah. That's the problem. No one runs in your family. You have to say it like deep.
That's right. That's how she would say it.
That was a good impersonation. Good impersonation. I take it a step further though, and I say that family recipes run in the family. Family traditions run in the family. Yeah. Can anyone relate to this? You come home from school with a great report card, and did your parents say to you, "That's fantastic, we're going to go out for ice cream tonight"? When it's your birthday, did you get cake and candy and whatever else you wanted? When it was a happy celebration or some kind of memory, was that marked by food in any way? I'm not going to say I never do it. I'm not going to say I don't give my kids birthday cake on their birthday, but I try to be intentional as many times as I can to change our generational memories to not always be associated with unhealthy food. And no, I'm not going to swap my kids' birthday candles for kale and celery sticks. Like, that's not what I'm talking about either. But it is trying to say to them, you know, you got a good grade. Let's go to the trampoline park. Rodney's cracking up here. You know, I'm saying, you know, you really did a great thing. We do, you know, do sticker charts and reward charts in my house for great behavior and trying to make those behavioral changes. You know, I will say to them, let's go on an extra long walk, or let's make sure that we go to the park today. Let's do something special. Let's do something different, and not try to make it all the time all around food. Maybe we'll go visit someone, or they'll be able to have a play date, whatever it is. Maybe I'll let them do something wild and, you know, take some paints into the bathtub with them. I don't know. I'd rather have them mess up the house than mess up those healthy habits that I'm really trying to instill in them, because they so quickly, those memories can easily be instilled. That olfactory senses, it just keeps us safe. It keeps us comfortable. So then if they're stressed out later, they're much more likely to go back. I'd rather have them stressed out painting the bathtub walls than stressed out going for chips and candy and chocolate, things like that. So they're a little bit different tips, I think, but that's really helped me create healthy habits in my family. So I really appreciate you guys having me on to be able to share these, because I'm really passionate about the lifestyle that we live.
Yeah, well, and that's something, as I've gotten to know you over the years, Sarah, is, you know, your delegation skills, you know, even like if I want an appointment with Sarah, it's through an app, you know, like I have to book through an app to talk to Sarah, you know, so it's just one of those things where, and that's what I mean by that is, like, look, she's outsourcing everywhere. Why? Because she wants her time to be spent on the most important things. Yeah. And, you know, if you want, like, for me, I love cooking. So like, I love preparing, I love cooking, and then I love eating. So I actually enjoy taking the time to make dinner. It's kind of one of my things. And so it just depends on your priorities.
Exactly.
Right. So like, I do the same thing. I'm outsourcing, I'm delegating, I'm batch thinking, I'm doing all of these things, but my priority is so that I do have that 30 minutes, right, to make dinner and enjoy that process. I absolutely love it. And I think it's so powerful to be really focused on those generational memories, because I grew up in that arena where like everything was about food and baked goods, and, you know, it wasn't matter if it was a thing or a sad thing, there was lots of food, right? And yeah. So my family. And I know, and I'm going to bring up a really maybe touchy subject here, but we've seen, you know, in past generations that when I was in school, there was really only one kid in our class who had any kind of, you know, issue. And we were all like, what's asthma? You know, like nobody, you know, it was just like one kid. And now almost if you go into any classroom in North America, the vast majority of kids now have some sort of diagnosed issue. They're on some sort of medication, because we've created, you know, a generational memory of convenience foods, of, exactly, you know, not moving our bodies. And so what I think Sarah is talking about is so powerful, because we can move the pendulum the other way just as easily by making these new habits.
No, I totally agree. I think being a mom of two, I know a lot of people, especially when the kids are packed with so many extracurricular activity and they're always on the road. So the easiest is going to your, like a fast food, you know, a pickup, you know, a drive through and get your dinner before you need to rush to another extracurricular. And this is often what a lot of mom would tell me. And I said, it takes just a little bit more preparation. It honestly saves you time, because people think drive through saves time. It doesn't, because the lineup to drive through takes a lot of time. So if I actually pre-pack, and I drive my kids to a lot of extracurriculum, and when I pick them up and I take them, they know, again, it's the memory, but it's also instilling those habits. They know I always have this little, their snack bag, right? And the snack bag, they know, because it's so predictable, because I want it to be predictable. Kids love predictability. So I always give it's always water. Like when hydrating, it's water. So once they know that, they would think juice. I don't drink juice, because in our families, water is what we use for hydration. So again, is the whole preaching, and I totally agree with that. Once you start doing that, that is what they know, right? Kids don't know better, in the sense that we as adults, the way we change our lifestyle, our habit, program them into that kind of habit. And if we were not programmed correctly because of the last generation, we can decide from now on here, I'm going to program myself differently, because I'm going to impact that next generation. And I want to say, it doesn't save you time. Definitely doesn't save you time. Pre-packaging, and I'm all about it's my Sunday, my ritual about pre-packing food and batch cooking, is because I know those are so important when I'm like on the go and I need to grab my healthy muffin, because my TL's muffin, I'm grabbing things that I know they will love, but at the same time, I felt great knowing that they're being nourished with the right nutrients, so that they're healthy, because that's, I think, the best wealth I can give my kids is health. Seriously, it's health. It's not money, it's health. Because if they don't have health, money doesn't do much. So I really want to instill that, just for a lot of parents who always go from one thing to another, and so much easier they think to go drive through or pick up convenience food, when in fact it's not.
For sure. So Doug, why don't you head us up here with some of the things that you have used with your clients and in your own life?
Yeah, thank you. And again, a pleasure to be on here. Before I jump into my stuff, I have to comment on a few of Sarah's. And, with the outsourcing, how about Rastelli's and the salmon and the chicken from Rastelli's? They probably 3/4 of our protein that we have in our family come from Rastelli's on a regular basis. Nice. So absolutely love their products there. And non-negotiables, we've kind of talked about a little bit with Suzanne, but everybody knows that wherever I go, I'm going to either have a Ziploc baggie or a Tupperware container of vegetables with me, if not vegetables and fruit. But when I'm on the golf course, if you look in one of my zipper pockets, there are going to be vegetables in there. Wherever we go, Sarah was talking about that the other day. I do a lot of golf tournaments on the golf course and working out there, and they don't serve vegetables with their meals. They do a burger. Sometimes I'll do the burger with no bun and get extra lettuce and tomatoes, but I've always got my cucumbers and my celery. I don't go anywhere without it. Honest to God, my body does absolutely crave them. People laugh at me everywhere we go. I've posted pictures, especially during a challenge, where I've got 4 or 5 of my water bottles going with me wherever I go, because I don't want to run out. I've got my vegetables, I've got my fruit, and those are just non-negotiables for me. And starting off the morning with my eggs and broccoli. I have broccoli with just about every meal. So those are my non-negotiables there.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it really starts just like with anything else. And this list isn't just about creating healthy habits. It's about creating any type of habits. Whenever you want to make a change, you decide what you want and why you want it, because that's what's going to keep you moving no matter what it is. It's a conscious decision every time we have things that are out there. So we want to plan, we want to prepare, we put it on the schedule, and then we take action to make sure that we're actually doing it. I'm very blessed to have a partner, my wife, Kathy, that does 99% of the cooking and keeps us going and rolling like that. But we want to do it one step at a time, make small changes and let them become habits for you. One meal at a time, one day at a time, and just keep building upon that and building upon it and making those conscious decisions each time allow you to create those habits and make them happen out there for you. Doing that day after day, duplicating it. I will tell you in the beginning, one of my comments is keeping it simple, but in the beginning, on Sundays, we talk about Sunday prep time. We would make a whole batch of chicken, a whole batch of sauteed vegetables, and a whole batch of fish. And then I would just mix and match all of the meals during the week and kept it very, very, very simple for myself. And it made it easy for me to stay. I didn't have to think about it, right? I didn't have to think about it. It was always there. I had my vegetables and I had my protein. I had my shakes. I had my water, and it just kept me rolling. And I knew exactly what I had with me throughout the day. There wasn't any thinking about what I had to do.
I love that. Rinse
yeah.
and repeat.
Exactly. Exactly. But it takes a little getting used to until you get there. But once you get into that rhythm, it feels really good. And so this is a good segue, because I said keep it simple with all those straightforward meals. Well, then the last couple of years, since the two of you have taken over, we've got those recipe booklets, the resources that we have, these weekly meetings, the Facebook posts where everybody's posting their recipes and what they're making every day. I mean, it just makes it so simple to be able to stay focused, but to keep that variety that many people are looking for. And again, those recipe booklets that you ladies have put together with all of the TLS coaches and everybody else as well. You know, Kathy and I go through them. I meant to bring one in here, but it's actually literally right out on the kitchen table. So when we're looking for something, and then there's one pinned up on the refrigerator as well, too, that we just kind of, you know, rotate through and make something different every week that we haven't tried before.
I love
but those
that.
resources are really key. Yeah. And you know, this is a really big one, is focus on the positive and don't beat yourself up over mistakes or, oh man, I had those chips and I shouldn't have had them. Don't worry about it. It's gone. Move on. Have the vegetables next though, and think about it next time, especially if you're feeling logy and kind of crappy about it. You know, make sure that, but don't beat yourself up. And the worst thing, especially when I'm coaching somebody, is don't let one bad meal or one bad mistake turn into a bad day, to turn into a bad weekend. Yeah. No, acknowledge it. And if you enjoyed it, yeah, do enjoy it, because, you know, for that moment, and then move on though, and focus on your next meal, drinking your water, and, you know, having your digestive enzymes, if it affects your belly the way mine does when you have some of those foods that you thought you really wanted, but you know you didn't. But
after you ate them, you're going, ugh.
Exactly, right? And you know, today, not tomorrow, today is always a clean slate. The next minute is always a clean slate and a new beginning. Don't worry about it. Just move on from there and stay focused on up to number one. What do you want and why do you want it? Think about that when you're making your decisions about the foods that you're eating and the things that you're drinking.
I think that's so powerful, Doug. You know, a lot of people are like, start tomorrow. Oh, I'll just restart tomorrow, you know, and
no, today, right now,
today,
the next minute.
right now.
Yeah.
That's so powerful. I love that.
Yes. And a lot of people really do beat themselves up more than they need to be, right? We just don't. And when they beat themselves, unfortunately, they, like you said, they sabotage. They said, you know what, I did bad, might as well do bad all the way. But no, it's only that one time, one meal. It's okay, move on, right? So I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I think it's just the mentality all or nothing. Just take that away. Don't have the all or nothing mentality. This is a work in progress, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And if you can't tell, if you don't know me already, have fun and focus on the things you like. Build this into your lifestyle, and it's a fun lifestyle. We talked earlier about me doing golf. I don't exercise, but exercise is a part of my life. I don't make a time to do something. I do things all of the time that I enjoy. Golfing, walking with Kathy at lunchtime, building things into that wherever we go. You know, Sarah may remember at all of our locals and things, when we get together out in the parking lot and we've brought our food and we have all of our vegetables and everything, and we'll go for a walk around the parking lot and make sure that, you know, we're getting a little bit of exercise into there. And, you know, with refereeing high school basketball and soccer, which I love doing, builds a little bit of exercise into there, and something that I really enjoy. So it's kind of like merging those things together. But find the things that you love to do and like to do, and really focus on them. Same thing with the foods. Find the ones that you really like. And in the beginning, stay with those until it becomes a habit, and then venture out more once you've become accustomed to it. Don't feel you have to make everything lavish in the beginning until it becomes a good habit.
Great tip, Doug.
Yeah.
Great
Love
tip. So yeah, I mean, such a powerful process here. And I think one of the things that, you know, we're coming into that time frame where halfway where people do tend to like get a little bored, right? Or veer off, or that kind of thing. And I think that, or they're doing really well and they're like, oh, I deserve a little treat, right? And I only know all of this because I've done it.
Exactly. Who hasn't, right?
Right, who hasn't? And so believe me, I'm not making fun of anyone. I'm not trying to push any buttons. I only know all of this because it's been my own experience. You know, and then I like, you know, and then I treat myself and I'm like, how much further would I have been if I hadn't had that, you know, dang it. Right. And so a couple things about habits is, you know, we are creatures of habits, right?
Yep.
And so let's have a little discussion about habits here real quick. But before we get into this little discussion, I want everybody to write in if you have a habit that you would like to change or maybe get rid of, or you know, something along those lines, write it in. We want to talk about it. We want to brainstorm with you guys if you have some habits that you are looking to potentially get rid of or start or change. All right, so while you guys are writing in, we're creatures of habit. So our brain is literally like millions, trillions of pathways of you know, neural networks and synapses, and we're currently in the habit. These neural pathways have been formed to do certain things. And it takes a significant conscious effort to create new pathways. And the body and the brain is, you know, we all like to take the path of least resistance. And so it's really easy to get off track, even though you made a decision to do this challenge. And I think the biggest thing here is that you're hearing from everyone on here, from Doug and Sarah and Suzanne, is that this is not about perfection. This is about progress. Because biologically, like, it's really seldom that you would achieve perfection, because you are fighting that biology, those neural pathways that have already been formed, and you're trying to form new ones. And I think it brings me back to the point that you made, Doug, is remind yourself daily what you've decided that you want and why you want it. And that helps form those new neural pathways of like, this is what I want. This is why I want it, and this is how I'm going to achieve it. Yeah. And so it's having those affirmations up on your bathroom mirror. It's having your goal statement. It's having pictures. You know, I found a picture of myself from I think it was probably about like 5 or 7 years ago, and I was like, dang, I gotta put this up on my board. I really gotta get back to that. And so, you know, like having these images to help speed up that process, where we're really creating those new neural pathways. All right, let's see what people have wrote into us.
Well,
okay.
It seemed like sweet tooth seemed to win the game.
Yeah, we've got a lot of sweet tooths here. Okay, this is good. So, yeah, lots of sweet tooths. Watch out for the coffee shop. Yes, true that. Okay, well, we've got some good ones for you then coming up here. I think this next little piece will help you guys out. So in the journal, in chapter 7, there's actually this chart, and it prompts you to write in what unhealthy habit would you like to change, and what would the replacement be? Because it's really actually quite difficult to just stop something, like stop it straight out, right? So Sarah, for instance, or sorry, not Sarah, drinking lots of soda. How many soda drinkers or pop drinkers, right? Diet soda, Coke, you know, these kinds of things. It's hard to just stop that. So we can stop that, but then we replace it with like sparkling waters like bubbly and LaCroix that have no sugar, that don't have any, you know, fake sugar in them. It's just literally naturally flavored sparkled water. Gives you that little prickly flavor in your mouth, right? It's great. Maybe you love your creamer in your coffee, and instead you can use a scoop of TLS shake. We were talking about it earlier today, how much we love vanilla chocolate or cookies and cream taste amazing in coffee.
So good.
All right. How about you, Doug?
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about vacation, and everybody's like, well, I don't have to eat healthy. It's vacation. Well, we know what happens when we do that. We get out of our routine and, we struggle. We have all the eat out every meal. Well, that's something that Kathy and I do is we plan. We make sure that the place that we're getting has a refrigerator. And if not, we're going to have a cooler with ice, and we're going to have our vegetables. We're going to have our staples. As Sarah said, we're going to have our non-negotiables. Then when we have that one meal that we really want to do, we enjoy it that much more as well, too. And no, we don't splurge on, all of the crazy sweets and everything, but we will have an ice cream or we will have something like that. But it's not every meal the whole week, because we're filling in with our vegetables and our fruits and, starting our mornings off with our eggs and broccoli. At least I am anyways. And, we'll do hard boiled eggs, and we'll make it as easy as possible at the beach or wherever we are to bring that with us and allow us to just keep, again, we keep saying it's a lifestyle. Keep that lifestyle going. If we're at the point right now where if we don't do that, it feels awkward and weird.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I know that, Sarah, you're on vacation right now and you're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I was just in the Keys. I did the exact same thing, kind of like 90, 10. 90% of the time I'm on track, and that 10% is planned, and it is an enjoy, and it is totally enjoy, guilt-free, right?
Totally.
Absolutely.
Has to be. Yeah, I mean, a lot of you guys have said like sweet tooth, or someone said dying for peanut butter, or I think that that's all related to. And so one of the things, especially at maybe some moms of little kids can relate. We eat dinner so crazy early, like because they want everyone in bed. So sometimes it's 5:30 we're eating dinner. Well, I don't go to bed. Look at what time it is now at my house. So, I did at one point, I started these weird habits of right now I'm going to eat like a whole second set of food and late night snacking. And I also, how many times do we have these battles and we say, well, I just deserve it, right? I deserve that glass of red wine. I deserve that, that bag of popcorn with the glass of red wine. I deserve that piece of chocolate. I just, whatever that is. Well, also putting in visual cues, I think is really helpful, and finding things I do deserve that are healthier, or things I can enjoy, things that I can say, this is an investment in me. Something like I just loved all the teas. I was just talking to a bunch of my friends just before this call, where we said we just came up with so many different types of teas, and I love teas for that. I love teas of that new mom moment for me, not the glass of red wine and chocolate and popcorn, and just that investment in myself. It could be, when I'm totally frazzled halfway through the day. I mean, nothing is better than a real nice frothy chocolate shake. Like I just make that so it is so delicious. I put that in my fanciest fancy glass I can get. I go into my kids' cabinet of their stuff and I go get one of those twisty straws that you can go see the shake go through. Oh, I love every moment of it. Or you make it so thick that like a spoon could just stand up in it, and it just it tastes so decadent. And I know it's good for me. I've talked a lot to Dr. Deidre Mason about just and with my activity level and running around with the kids and my lifestyle and the way that I do choose to eat a more plant-based lifestyle, that those forms of good quality protein are going to be really important to me. So, finding those other healthy options. But what I want to just stress to people is not just identifying like what you want to do more of, but exactly where it's being triggered, so you can set up those cues specifically to say, what is it that's going to make it so you're going to get more of something, or you're going to do something else? Because right now it's not that you don't have this extra time. You don't have this extra like, oh, I'll be able to meal prep more, eat better, drink more water, do that. That's not the issue. The issue is something else is taking that space. So, in this replacement conversation, I'd love for you to really identify where it is and what's taking up that space so you can create that new habit and new trigger.
Absolutely. I have to tell you all that we're currently updating the TLS shake and bake recipe because I have perfected the chocolate chip cookie with cookies and cream. And I have perfected the chocolate ice cream with the chocolate shake. Okay, you have to, I'm telling you, you guys, you cannot, you have to have every ingredient and you have to do it exactly how I say. And I promise that it will come out like the best chocolate ice cream and the best chocolate chip cookies you've ever had using our shakes. No flour, no added sugar. I mean, we're talking about healthy treats. And that's exactly for those of you, especially who are dealing with maybe that sweet tooth during the afternoon or evening. These are the type of things like Sarah's mentioning is, this is your treat, this is your new treat. But it's also an investment in yourself. And that's why I love making our trim cafe with a scoop of the shake and making it all frothy and into a frappuccino or into a hot latte and feeling like I just spent $8 at Starbucks, but I didn't. So I just love that. It's my favorite thing to have those kinds of treats. So I'm still treating myself, like you said, Sarah, when I get triggered, I feel like, oh, I just need something, right?
I mean, do we ever get off a bad meeting and you're like, what just happened to the last hour of my life? Or, I'm that's definitely when I would just be like, whatever, I just want something to make me feel better. I'm hungry. I miss my meal. I miss whatever. But you're right. Making it so it feels a bit more indulgent, feels like your reward. And so many of our TLS products have really done that for me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too, for sure. All of our different teas and our trim cafe and our shakes. Oh my goodness.
Even the fiber powder, I put in my water every single morning, and I have that with my twist of lime. I do it. I like it ice cold, ice cold personally. And I just think it's so yummy and delicious. I look forward to it every morning.
Yeah.
And I try to drink that before my first cup of coffee. So then I have more water other than just isotonics. That's been also helpful, changing that habit.
Yes. I love the NutriClean fiber in the trim tea or trim cafe as well, because it sweetens it a little with its natural stevia. And so that's also a nice little treat as well. Yeah. So I just want to talk to Nadine here for a second, who's dying for some peanut butter. So Nadine, I love peanut butter too. It's I'm what's that movie with Brad Pitt? I could just walk around with a peanut butter on a spoon all day. So I'm with you. So obviously, if you're on a program that doesn't allow nuts, it's because you have some really important goals and you want to hit them fast. Right? Is peanut butter allowed in some of our other programs? Absolutely. Just keep it organic and all natural. So it's not, no Jiffy. Okay. That's palm oil and icing sugar. All right. There's no peanuts. So you got to go with the organic good stuff that you actually got to stir yourself. Right. But I do want to say that one of the things that has, because peanut butter is more of a fat than it is a protein, based on most of the labels, you'll see a much higher fat content. What I love and what I've really truly come to just absolutely look forward to is the peanut butter powder, the PB powder, which now is taking the fat out and left the protein, and it's just in a powder form. And I put it in my chocolate shake, or I actually really enjoy it more in the vanilla. It tastes amazing in the vanilla. So I just put 2 tablespoons of that. It actually adds 6 grams of protein to the shake. So, and then you feel like you're having a Reese peanut butter cup, which is like amazing.
That sounds amazing.
It is so good, you guys. So you may want to check out your PB powder, Nadine. It might be your lifesaver. Of course, you know, she's on fat shredder. Yes, no nuts on that. All right,
I'm on it.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, this has been super fun.
Yes.
I know that, you know, all of our TLS coaches on the line, and, you know, they all have probably just been like, yes, preach, you know, because this is what they've been, you know, teaching their you know, customers and clients on the line here, is just, you know, finding those non-negotiables. I love that Sarah calls them non-negotiables. I like to call them guardrails. Kind of like I was saying earlier today, that it's, you know, when you were a kid and you put the bumpers in the bowling alley so that you wouldn't go in the gutter. Yeah, it's kind of like that. So it's like, I don't want to go in the gutter. I want to stay in the lane. And so I put the guardrails up, or the little bumpers, and that keeps me on the straight and narrow. And, you know, it's really just forming those healthy non-negotiables, or those guardrails in your life that just become that. It's like, this is how it is from here on out. You won't find me without water. You won't find me without a cooler of food for my kids or me, or on the road, you know, these types of habits. And I know that my team is doing a spectacular job of incorporating these new habits. And I just know that all of you are, based on our numbers, based on the team's reporting, you guys are doing an incredible job of making that progress and forming those new habits. And I hope that this was encouraging and you got some ideas.
Yes.
Because, you know, we just want to keep supporting you in this.
Yeah. And just one last thing to say, that, you know, we have given you a lot of tips, but in the end, I always end with, when I talk to my clients, was when you were to eat certain food, what are the value? Like what kind of value you get from that? Because I always think about eating as spending money, right? And there are times when we buy things that are totally useless, but we buy them, right? But we don't want to do them too often. And that's same as food, right? Well, we're investing in the body. So we want to invest, right? When we invest, we want to have value. So every time when you eat food, and that's why taking, like, whether it's the TL shakes or the fiber blend, I actually love the aloe juice. My kids love the aloe. That was their own version of juice. They never had juice. The only juice they ever had was aloe juice. And it's funny thing, because we went to a party and my kids said, I want aloe juice. And the kids was like, aloe juice? They never even heard of aloe juice, because there would be apple and orange, but there's no aloe juice. They said, oh, it's okay. You don't know. She has her own aloe juice. So I bought her own bottle of aloe juice so that she's not getting the apple juice. Anyways, my point is, I want everything that my kids have, or everything that I want to instill in my client, is like, when you put things in your mouth, are they adding value, or are they taking value away from that? And if it's adding value, and I mean, there are times we splurge, right? Which is normal. We buy things that are useless. But if we always buy things that we're useless, we'll go bankrupt, right? And you don't want to bankrupt your health. So think about that. And thank you very much for two amazing guests for your tip. I think people loving it. I think they're great. And for the rest of you, we can't wait to see you next week.
That's right. Thank you so much, Sarah and Doug, for joining us this week and imparting your wisdom with us here at the Tone Up Challenge. And Doug, I know you've got a team in the challenge, so you guys are rocking it out. It's awesome. So thanks to everybody for watching. So Zan, my partner in crime, we're, you know, just keep going, right? Just keep doing what we do. So glad you were all here with us tonight. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.